Brazil, the superpower. Brazil's rise to power. How Brazil became a fast-growing economy and a global contender. From economic growth, the foundation of power. Brazil's economic success story is rooted in its diverse and robust industrial base. As the world's largest producer of coffee, soybeans, and sugar, Brazil has capitalized on its natural resources to build a strong agricultural sector that feeds millions globally. But Brazil's growth doesn't stop at agriculture. The discovery of massive offshore oil reserves has transformed the country into an energy giant, while its manufacturing and technology sectors have increasingly positioned Brazil as a hub of innovation. Welcome to Rags to Travel, where we uncover the untold stories of nations on the rise. Today, we're diving into the remarkable story of Brazil, a country that has defied the odds to emerge as one of the world's fastest-growing economies. Could Brazil be on its way to becoming the next global superpower? Join us as we explore this fascinating journey. Brazil's economic evolution. Brazil's transformation into one of the world's fastest-growing economies is a story of strategic planning, robust policy implementation, and effective global partnerships. The journey from being a primarily agrarian economy to an industrial and technological powerhouse has been driven by a combination of government policies, foreign investments, and international trade partnerships. Government policies, the catalyst for growth. The Brazilian government has played a central role in shaping the country's economic trajectory. Over the years, various administrations have implemented policies aimed at stabilizing the economy, controlling inflation, and promoting sustainable growth. The Plano Reel in the 1990s, for example, was a pivotal moment in Brazil's economic history. This set of reforms successfully curbed hyperinflation and laid the foundation for economic stability, which in turn attracted foreign investment and boosted consumer confidence. More recently, Brazil has focused on diversifying its economy beyond agriculture. Industrial policies have encouraged the development of high-tech industries, particularly in aerospace, automotive, and energy sectors. The government's push for innovation has also led to the establishment of technology parks and research centers, particularly in São Paulo, which is now recognized as a hub for tech startups in Latin America. Brazil has also prioritized infrastructure development, understanding that a modern, efficient infrastructure is crucial for sustained economic growth. Massive investments in roads, ports, and airports have improved connectivity within the country and with international markets, facilitating trade and attracting further investment. Foreign investments, fueling Brazil's growth. Foreign direct investment, FDI, has been a significant driver of Brazil's economic expansion. The country's vast natural resources, large domestic market, and growing middle class have made it an attractive destination for foreign investors. Over the past 2 decades, Brazil has seen substantial FDI inflows, particularly in sectors such as oil and gas, renewable energy, manufacturing, and telecommunications. Brazil's oil sector, in particular, has attracted significant foreign capital. The discovery of the pre-salt oil fields off the coast of Brazil in the early 2000s was a game-changer, transforming the country into a major player in the global energy market. Companies from around the world, including giants like ExxonMobil and Shell, have invested heavily in Brazil's oil industry, bringing in advanced technology and expertise that have helped boost production and exports. The automotive industry is another area where foreign investments have played a crucial role. Global car manufacturers like Volkswagen, General Motors, and Fiat have long established operations in Brazil and continue to expand their presence, driven by the country's growing demand for vehicles. Trade partnerships, expanding Brazil's global reach. Brazil's integration into the global economy has been significantly bolstered by its strategic trade partnerships. As a member of BRICS, a group of 5 major emerging economies including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, Brazil has benefited from increased trade and investment opportunities. BRICS has provided a platform for Brazil to strengthen its economic ties with other emerging markets, promoting trade in goods and services and facilitating investment flows among member countries. China, in particular, has become one of Brazil's most important trade partners. Over the past 2 decades, the trade relationship between the two countries has grown exponentially. China is now Brazil's largest trading partner, with trade volumes reaching unprecedented levels. Brazil exports large quantities of soybeans, iron ore, and oil to China, while importing electronics, machinery, and other manufactured goods. This trade relationship has been mutually beneficial, contributing to the growth of both economies. Brazil has also maintained strong trade ties with the United States and the European Union. These partnerships have been crucial in diversifying Brazil's export markets and reducing its reliance on any single trading partner. The United States has been a key market for Brazilian agricultural products, as well as a source of investment in various sectors. Meanwhile, the European Union has been an important partner in terms of both trade and investment, particularly in industries such as renewable energy and manufacturing. Strategic alliances, strengthening Brazil's global position. Brazil's strategic alliances extend beyond trade. The country has actively participated in global economic governance through organizations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the G20. Brazil's involvement in these organizations has allowed it to influence global economic policies and advocate for the interests of emerging markets. Moreover, Brazil has pursued regional integration through its membership in Mercosur, a South American trade bloc that includes Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Mercosur has enabled Brazil to strengthen its economic ties with neighboring countries, creating a more integrated and competitive regional market. Brazil's diplomatic efforts have also been geared towards securing its position as a leader in global environmental governance. As a country with vast natural resources and significant biodiversity, Brazil has played a key role in international climate negotiations, advocating for sustainable development and environmental protection. Then, social progress healthcare as a cornerstone of development. Economic growth is only part of the equation. Brazil's commitment to improving the quality of life for its citizens has been equally impressive. Through substantial investments in healthcare, Brazil has not only increased life expectancy, but also set a global example with its innovative public health initiatives. The country's unified health system, known as SUS, offers free and universal healthcare to its population, a model that many developing nations aspire to emulate. Brazil's healthcare evolution and global contributions. Brazil's healthcare system has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past few decades, earning international recognition for its innovative approaches to public health and its contributions to global medical research. The country's focus on preventive healthcare, its aggressive fight against infectious diseases, and its investment in cutting-edge medical research have positioned Brazil as a leader in global health initiatives. Preventive healthcare, a national priority. Preventive healthcare has become a cornerstone of Brazil's public health strategy. The Unified Health System SUS, established in 1988, is a testament to the country's commitment to ensuring that every citizen has access to healthcare. SUS is one of the largest public health systems in the world, providing free healthcare services to millions of Brazilians. The system's emphasis on preventive care, including routine checkups, vaccinations, and health education, has played a crucial role in improving the overall health of the population. Brazil's family health program, Programa Saúde Família, is one of the most successful examples of its preventive healthcare efforts. This program, launched in the 1990s, deploys teams of healthcare professionals to communities across the country, particularly in underserved rural and urban areas. These teams focus on primary care, including maternal and child health, vaccination campaigns, and health education, significantly reducing the incidence of preventable diseases and improving health outcomes. Combating infectious diseases, a national and global effort. Brazil has faced numerous public health challenges over the years, particularly in combating infectious diseases. The country's experience with diseases such as Zika, dengue, and, more recently, COVID-19 has underscored the importance of a robust public health response and international collaboration. Zika virus. In 2015-2016, Brazil became the epicenter of the Zika virus outbreak, which caused severe birth defects in newborns. The Brazilian government, in collaboration with international health organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, launched an aggressive response to contain the virus. Public health campaigns focused on mosquito control, raising awareness about the virus, and providing support to affected families. Brazil's swift action and transparency in sharing data with the global health community were instrumental in managing the outbreak and advancing research on Zika. COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic presented an unprecedented challenge for Brazil, as it did for the rest of the world. Brazil's response to the pandemic included mass vaccination campaigns, public health measures such as social distancing and mask wearing, and the rapid expansion of healthcare facilities to handle the surge in cases. Despite facing significant challenges, including a high number of cases and deaths, Brazil emerged as a key player in the global fight against COVID-19. Brazil's Oswaldo Cruz Foundation, Fiocruz, one of the world's leading public health research institutions, played a pivotal role in the country's COVID-19 response. Fiocruz was instrumental in the development and production of vaccines, including the AstraZeneca vaccine, which was produced locally in Brazil. This not only helped to meet the domestic demand for vaccines, but also allowed Brazil to contribute to global vaccine distribution efforts, particularly in low and middle-income countries. Medical research and innovation, leading the way. Brazil has made significant strides in medical research and innovation, earning a reputation as a global leader in several areas of healthcare. The country's investment in research institutions, universities, and public-private partnerships has led to groundbreaking advancements in medicine, particularly in the development of affordable treatments and vaccines. Generic medicines. Brazil is a major producer of generic medicines, which are essential for making healthcare more affordable and accessible. The country's commitment to producing high-quality, low-cost medications has had a significant impact both domestically and internationally. Brazil's generic drug industry supplies medicines to countries around the world, particularly in Latin America and Africa, where access to affordable healthcare is a major challenge. HIV/AIDS treatment. Brazil has been at the forefront of the global fight against HIV/AIDS since the 1990s. The country's approach to HIV/AIDS treatment, which includes free and universal access to antiretroviral therapy, ART, through the SUS, has been widely praised. Brazil was one of the first countries in the developing world to provide ART to all who needed it, significantly reducing HIV-related mortality and improving the quality of life for those living with the virus. Brazil's commitment to fighting HIV/AIDS also extends to its research efforts. Brazilian scientists have made important contributions to the development of new treatments and preventive measures, including vaccine research. Brazil's leadership in HIV/AIDS treatment and research has served as a model for other countries and has had a profound impact on global health. Vaccine development and production. Brazil's expertise in vaccine development and production has been crucial in its contributions to global health. Fiocruz and the Butantan Institute, another leading biomedical research center in Brazil, have a long history of developing vaccines for a range of diseases, including yellow fever, dengue, and now COVID-19. These institutions are recognized for their research excellence and their ability to produce vaccines at scale, making Brazil a key player in global health security. Brazil's role in vaccine development has been particularly important in the context of emerging infectious diseases. The country's ability to rapidly respond to outbreaks, develop vaccines, and share its expertise with the international community has been vital in controlling the spread of diseases and saving lives. Global health contributions, a lasting legacy. Brazil's commitment to global health extends beyond its borders. The country has been an active participant in international health initiatives, including the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria, and the WHO's COVAX initiative, which aims to ensure equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines worldwide. Brazil's contributions to these initiatives have been instrumental in advancing global health equity and improving access to life-saving treatments in low and middle-income countries. Brazil's leadership in global health is also evident in its efforts to share its knowledge and expertise with other nations. Through technical cooperation agreements, Brazil has provided support to countries in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean in areas such as vaccine production, disease surveillance, and healthcare system strengthening. This has not only enhanced global health security, but also reinforced Brazil's role as a leader in international health. Also, education empowering the next generation. A strong education system is the backbone of any thriving economy, and Brazil is no exception. Recognizing this, Brazil has made sweeping reforms to its education sector, with a focus on expanding access to quality education for all. From primary schools to world-class universities, Brazil is laying the groundwork for a future driven by knowledge and innovation. Brazil's educational reforms and contributions to science and technology. Brazil's journey towards becoming a global leader in science and technology is deeply rooted in its educational reforms and the strategic emphasis on making education accessible and relevant for all. By implementing programs like ProUni, expanding vocational training, and emphasizing STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, Brazil has not only improved the quality of education, but also prepared its workforce to meet the demands of a rapidly evolving global economy. Brazilian universities play a critical role in this transformation, fostering research and development that drives the country's growing influence in science and technology. ProUni, making higher education accessible. One of the most significant educational reforms in Brazil is the implementation of the Programa Universidade para Todos, ProUni, or University for All program. Launched in 2004, ProUni aims to democratize access to higher education by offering full and partial scholarships to low-income students attending private universities. The program specifically targets students from public schools and those who come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, enabling them to pursue higher education without the financial burden that typically accompanies it. ProUni has been transformative for millions of Brazilian students. Since its inception, the program has provided opportunities for those who might otherwise have been excluded from higher education due to financial constraints. By making higher education more accessible, ProUni has helped to reduce social inequality and has been a crucial step towards building a more inclusive and educated society. In addition to financial support, ProUni also provides students with academic and career counseling, ensuring that they are well prepared to succeed in their studies and future careers. The program has not only expanded access to education, but has also improved educational outcomes, as students are given the tools and resources they need to excel. Vocational training, preparing the workforce. Recognizing the need to prepare its workforce for the demands of a modern economy, Brazil has significantly expanded its vocational training programs. These programs are designed to equip students with practical skills and knowledge that are directly applicable to the job market. By focusing on industries that are critical to Brazil's economic growth, such as manufacturing, technology, and services, these programs play a vital role in reducing unemployment and underemployment. The Serviço Nacional de Aprendizagem Industrial, SENAI, or National Service for Industrial Training, is one of the leading institutions in Brazil's vocational training landscape. SENAI offers a wide range of courses in areas like automation, electronics, robotics, and information technology, ensuring that students are prepared for careers in rapidly advancing industries. These programs are closely aligned with industry needs, often developed in partnership with private sector companies to ensure that the curriculum remains relevant and up-to-date. In addition to providing technical skills, Brazil's vocational training programs emphasize the importance of soft skills, such as teamwork, problem-solving, and communication. This holistic approach ensures that graduates are not only technically proficient, but also capable of adapting to the dynamic nature of the modern workforce. STEM education, building a foundation for innovation. To position itself as a leader in science and technology, Brazil has placed a strong emphasis on STEM education. By prioritizing STEM subjects in schools and universities, Brazil aims to build a foundation of knowledge and skills that will drive innovation and economic growth. The government, in collaboration with educational institutions, has implemented various initiatives to promote STEM education at all levels. One such initiative is the Programa Institucional de Bolsas de Iniciação Científica, PIBIC, or the Institutional Program of Scientific Initiation Scholarships. PIBIC encourages undergraduate students to engage in scientific research early in their academic careers by providing scholarships and research opportunities. This program fosters a culture of inquiry and innovation, helping to develop the next generation of scientists and engineers. Brazilian schools have also incorporated STEAM-focused curricula, with specialized programs designed to inspire students to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These programs often involve hands-on learning experiences, such as science fairs, robotics competitions, and coding workshops, which not only make learning more engaging, but also help students apply theoretical knowledge to real-world problems. The emphasis on STEM education has already begun to yield results, with an increasing number of Brazilian students pursuing degrees in engineering, computer science, and other technical fields. This growing pool of talent is essential for Brazil's ambitions to become a global leader in technology and innovation. The role of universities in research and development. Brazilian universities are at the forefront of the country's efforts to advance in science and technology. These institutions are not only centers of learning, but also hubs of research and innovation. Brazilian universities have been instrumental in driving research and development, R&D, across various fields, contributing to the country's growing influence on the global stage. Research output and global rankings. Brazilian universities, such as the University of São Paulo, USP, and the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, UFRJ, are recognized globally for their research output. These institutions have consistently ranked among the top universities in Latin America and have made significant contributions to scientific literature. Brazilian researchers are active in a wide range of disciplines, including biomedical research, environmental science, agriculture, and engineering. Innovation and technology transfer. Universities in Brazil have increasingly focused on the commercialization of research and technology transfer, bridging the gap between academic research and industry. Innovation centers and technology parks associated with universities facilitate collaboration between researchers, entrepreneurs, and businesses, leading to the development of new technologies and products. These initiatives not only drive economic growth, but also contribute to Brazil's competitiveness in the global market. International collaborations. Brazilian universities have established numerous international partnerships, collaborating with institutions and researchers from around the world. These collaborations enhance the quality of research and provide Brazilian scientists with access to cutting-edge technologies and methodologies. International partnerships also help Brazilian universities participate in global research networks, increasing the visibility and impact of their work. Contributions to global challenges. Brazilian universities have made significant contributions to addressing global challenges, particularly in areas such as environmental sustainability, public health, and agricultural innovation. For example, Brazilian researchers have played a key role in developing sustainable agricultural practices that have been adopted worldwide. Similarly, the country's expertise in tropical medicine and infectious disease research has made it a leader in global health initiatives. Brazil's growing influence in science and technology. Brazil's educational reforms, with their emphasis on accessibility, vocational training, and STEM education, have laid the groundwork for the country's growing influence in science and technology. By investing in education and fostering a culture of innovation, Brazil is well-positioned to become a global leader in these fields. The country's commitment to research and development, supported by its universities and research institutions, has already led to significant advancements in various scientific disciplines. As Brazil continues to build on these achievements, it will play an increasingly important role in shaping the future of global science and technology. Also, political stability, the bedrock of sustainable growth. Economic and social progress cannot be sustained without a stable political environment. Brazil's commitment to democracy, despite facing numerous challenges, has been a key factor in its ability to maintain steady growth. Through electoral reforms, anti-corruption measures, and an increasingly active civil society, Brazil has strengthened its democratic institutions, laying the foundation for long-term stability. Brazil's political evolution and efforts to enhance stability. Brazil's political journey is a complex narrative of resilience, reform, and renewal. From its tumultuous transition from military dictatorship to a thriving democracy, to the far-reaching effects of the Operation Car Wash anti-corruption investigation, Brazil's political evolution has been shaped by both challenges and triumphs. Civic engagement has played a pivotal role in shaping policy and advancing governance reforms, contributing to the country's ongoing efforts to enhance transparency, reduce inequality, and ensure political stability. This deep dive into Brazil's political landscape explores the historical context of its evolution, the challenges faced, and the measures implemented to create a more stable and inclusive society. Transition from military dictatorship to democracy. Brazil's political evolution is marked by a significant transition from a military dictatorship to a democratic government, a process that began in the mid-1980s. The country was under military rule from 1964 to 1985, a period characterized by repression, censorship, and limited political freedoms. The military government justified its rule by emphasizing the need for stability and economic growth. But this came at the cost of human rights violations and the suppression of political dissent. The path to democracy was not straightforward. By the late 1970s, Brazil faced growing economic challenges, including rising inflation and external debt, which fueled public dissatisfaction with the military regime. At the same time, a broad coalition of opposition groups, including political parties, labor unions, and civil society organizations, began to demand political reforms and a return to civilian rule. The movement for democracy gained momentum in the early 1980s with the Direitos Já, Direct Elections Now campaign, which called for direct presidential elections. Although the military government initially resisted these demands, the pressure from civil society and the deteriorating economic situation forced the regime to initiate a process of political liberalization. In 1985, Brazil held its first indirect presidential election since the military coup, marking the end of military rule. Tancredo Neves, a civilian politician, was elected president, though he tragically died before taking office. His vice president, José Sarney, assumed the presidency and oversaw the transition to democracy. In 1988, Brazil adopted a new constitution, which enshrined democratic principles, human rights, and social justice, laying the foundation for the modern Brazilian state. The impact of Operation Car Wash. One of the most significant events in Brazil's recent political history is the Operation Car Wash, Operação Lava Jato investigation, which began in 2014 and uncovered widespread corruption involving high-level politicians, business executives, and state-owned enterprises. The investigation initially focused on money laundering, but quickly expanded to reveal a massive corruption scheme centered around the state-owned oil company, Petrobras. Operation Car Wash exposed the intricate web of kickbacks, bribes, and illicit financial flows that permeated Brazil's political and corporate sectors. The investigation led to the indictment and conviction of numerous politicians and business leaders, including former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who was sentenced to prison on corruption charges, though his convictions were later annulled by Brazil's Supreme Court. The revelations from Operation Car Wash shocked the nation and sparked widespread outrage. The investigation also highlighted the systemic nature of corruption in Brazil, where political patronage and corporate influence had become deeply entrenched. The public response to the scandal was intense, with large-scale protests demanding accountability, justice, and political reform. Despite the controversies and challenges, Operation Car Wash had a profound impact on Brazil's political landscape. It demonstrated the strength of Brazil's judicial institutions and their ability to hold powerful individuals accountable. The investigation also led to significant legal and institutional reforms aimed at combating corruption, including stricter anti-corruption laws, enhanced transparency measures, and the establishment of mechanisms to protect whistleblowers. The role of civic engagement in shaping policy. Civic engagement has been a driving force behind many of the political reforms in Brazil, particularly in the wake of the Operation Car Wash scandal. The active involvement of civil society in the political process has helped to push for greater transparency, accountability, and social justice. This engagement has taken various forms, from grassroots movements and protests to participation in policy-making processes. One of the most notable examples of civic engagement in Brazil is the rise of digital activism and the use of social media to mobilize public opinion. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp have become powerful tools for organizing protests, sharing information, and holding politicians accountable. During the 2013 protests, millions of Brazilians took to the streets to demand better public services, an end to corruption, and greater political transparency. These protests, which were largely organized through social media, forced the government to take action on several issues, including public transportation and education. Civic engagement has also played a key role in shaping policy on social issues, such as gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and environmental protection. Advocacy groups and NGOs have been instrumental in raising awareness and influencing legislation on these issues. For example, the women's rights movement in Brazil has successfully pushed for laws to combat domestic violence and gender-based discrimination, while environmental organizations have been at the forefront of efforts to protect the Amazon rainforest and indigenous communities. The active participation of civil society in Brazil's political process has helped to create a more vibrant and inclusive democracy. It has also contributed to a greater sense of accountability, as politicians are increasingly aware that they must respond to the demands and concerns of the public. Efforts to enhance transparency and improve governance. In response to the challenges posed by corruption and political instability, Brazil has undertaken a series of reforms aimed at enhancing transparency and improving governance. These efforts have been driven by both domestic pressure and international commitments, as Brazil seeks to build a more accountable and effective government. Anti-corruption reforms. In the wake of Operation Car Wash, Brazil implemented a series of anti-corruption reforms designed to strengthen the legal framework and prevent future abuses. These reforms include the enactment of the Clean Company Act, Lei da Empresa Limpa, in 2014, which holds companies accountable for corrupt practices and imposes severe penalties on those found guilty of corruption. The law also encourages companies to implement compliance programs and cooperate with authorities in investigations. Transparency initiatives. To increase transparency in government operations, Brazil has adopted several initiatives aimed at making public information more accessible to citizens. The Access to Information Law, Lei do Acesso à Informação, passed in 2011, requires government agencies to provide information to the public upon request, unless it is classified for reasons of national security. The law has been instrumental in promoting transparency and allowing citizens to hold the government accountable. Brazil has also embraced the use of digital platforms to enhance transparency. The transparency portal, Portal de Transparência, is an online platform that provides detailed information on government spending, contracts, and public procurement. This platform allows citizens to monitor government activities and detect potential irregularities, contributing to greater accountability. Judicial independence. The independence of Brazil's judiciary has been a crucial factor in the success of efforts to combat corruption and improve governance. The judiciary has demonstrated its ability to act independently of political pressures, as evidenced by the successful prosecution of high-profile cases during Operation Car Washington. The strengthening of judicial institutions has been essential in ensuring that the rule of law is upheld and that justice is served, regardless of the status or influence of the individuals involved. Reducing inequality, a central focus of political reforms. Addressing inequality has been a central focus of Brazil's political reforms, as the country seeks to build a more just and equitable society. Despite significant economic growth in recent decades, Brazil remains one of the most unequal countries in the world, with stark disparities in income, education, and access to public services. Social programs. The Brazilian government has implemented a range of social programs aimed at reducing poverty and inequality. One of the most successful programs is Bolsa Familia, a conditional cash transfer program that provides financial assistance to low-income families. The program requires beneficiaries to meet certain conditions, such as ensuring their children attend school and receive regular health checkups. Bolsa Familia has been credited with lifting millions of Brazilians out of poverty and reducing income inequality. Educational reforms. As discussed earlier, educational reforms have been a key component of Brazil's efforts to reduce inequality. By expanding access to higher education through programs like ProUni and improving the quality of primary and secondary education, the government aims to provide all Brazilians with the opportunity to succeed, regardless of their socioeconomic background. Education is seen as a critical tool for breaking the cycle of poverty and creating a more equitable society. Healthcare. Brazil's universal healthcare system, known as the Sistema Único de Saúde (SUS), plays a vital role in reducing inequality by providing free access to health services for all citizens. The SUS has been instrumental in improving health outcomes and reducing disparities in access to care, particularly for marginalized and underserved populations. The system's focus on preventive care and community-based health services has helped to address the social determinants of health and promote health equity. Conclusion: Brazil's path to stability and growth. Brazil's political evolution, marked by its transition from military dictatorship to democracy, the impact of the Operation Car Wash investigation, and the active role of civic engagement, has laid the foundation for a more transparent, accountable, and inclusive society. The country's ongoing efforts to enhance transparency, improve governance, and reduce inequality are essential for ensuring long-term stability and sustainable growth. As Brazil continues to address the challenges of corruption, inequality, and political polarization, it is building a stronger, more resilient democracy. The lessons learned from its past struggles and the reforms implemented in response to those challenges are shaping a promising future for Brazil, positioning it as a key player on the global stage. Through its commitment to transparency, governance, and social justice, Brazil is not only enhancing its own stability, but also contributing to the broader goal of creating a more just and equitable world. Another angle: environmental stewardship, balancing growth with sustainability. As Brazil races toward the future, it faces the unique challenge of balancing rapid growth with environmental stewardship. Home to the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest, Brazil holds a pivotal role in global environmental sustainability. The country has made strides in preserving its natural resources while also promoting sustainable development practices. Brazil's environmental policies and global leadership in sustainability. Brazil's environmental policies and its role as a leader in global sustainability efforts reflect a deep commitment to balancing economic growth with ecological preservation. From reforestation initiatives and the establishment of protected areas to its leadership in climate change negotiations and renewable energy promotion, Brazil has positioned itself as a key player in the global environmental movement. This exploration delves into Brazil's multifaceted approach to environmental conservation, highlighting the country's achievements, challenges, and innovative projects aimed at preserving its unique biodiversity and natural resources. Commitment to reforestation and the fight against deforestation. Brazil's vast forests, particularly the Amazon rainforest, are often referred to as the lungs of the earth due to their role in absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. However, deforestation has been a significant environmental challenge for Brazil, driven by agricultural expansion, illegal logging, and infrastructure development. Recognizing the critical importance of preserving its forests, Brazil has implemented various reforestation and anti-deforestation initiatives aimed at restoring degraded lands and protecting its natural heritage. Reforestation initiatives. Brazil has committed to ambitious reforestation goals as part of its nationally determined contributions, NDCs, under the Paris Agreement. The country aims to restore 12 million hectares of deforested and degraded lands by 2030. This commitment is supported by government programs, private sector initiatives, and international partnerships. One of the most prominent reforestation efforts is the Green Gigaton Challenge, which seeks to scale up restoration projects across the Amazon and other biomes to sequester carbon and enhance biodiversity. Reforestation efforts in Brazil also include agroforestry systems, which integrate trees into agricultural landscapes. These systems provide multiple benefits, such as improving soil health, increasing crop yields, and offering farmers alternative sources of income. Agroforestry is particularly important in regions like the Atlantic forest, where reforestation efforts have led to the recovery of ecosystems that have been severely degraded by agricultural activities. Anti-deforestation measures. To combat deforestation, Brazil has implemented a range of policies and enforcement mechanisms aimed at curbing illegal activities and promoting sustainable land use practices. The Forest Code, a key piece of legislation, requires landowners to maintain a certain percentage of their property as forest cover, depending on the region. In the Amazon, for example, landowners must preserve 80% of their land as forest, while in other biomes, the requirement is lower. The Brazilian government has also established monitoring systems, such as the Deter Real-Time Deforestation Detection System, which uses satellite imagery to detect illegal deforestation in near real time. This technology allows authorities to quickly identify and respond to deforestation hotspots, increasing the effectiveness of enforcement actions. In addition, Brazil has ramped up efforts to combat illegal logging and land grabbing by deploying environmental enforcement agencies like IBAMA, Brazilian Institute of Environment and Renewable Natural Resources, and increasing penalties for environmental crimes. Protected areas and conservation efforts. Brazil is home to some of the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet, including the Amazon rainforest, the Pantanal wetlands, the Cerrado savanna, and the Atlantic forest. To protect this rich biodiversity, Brazil has established an extensive network of protected areas that cover more than 2 million square kilometers, or roughly 25% of its territory. National parks and reserves. Brazil's national parks and reserves play a critical role in conserving its unique flora and fauna. The country has designated over 300 federal protected areas, including iconic sites like the Amazon National Park, the Pantanal Matagrossense National Park, and the Serra de Capivara National Park. These protected areas are managed by ICM Bio, Chico Mendes Institute for Biodiversity Conservation, which oversees conservation efforts, promotes sustainable tourism, and works to engage local communities in conservation initiatives. Indigenous territories. Indigenous territories are another crucial component of Brazil's conservation strategy. These lands, which are legally recognized and protected, cover about 13% of Brazil's territory and are home to indigenous communities that have been stewards of the environment for centuries. Research has shown that deforestation rates in indigenous territories are significantly lower than in non-protected areas, highlighting the importance of indigenous land rights in preserving Brazil's forests. Efforts to expand protected areas. In recent years, Brazil has taken steps to expand its network of protected areas, particularly in the marine environment. The creation of the Marine Protected Areas (MPAs) of São Pedro and São Paulo and the Trindade and Mar de Vaz archipelagos in the South Atlantic Ocean has increased the total area of Brazil's MPAs to over 92 million hectares. These MPAs are crucial for conserving marine biodiversity, protecting fish stocks, and promoting sustainable fisheries. Brazil's role in global climate change negotiations. Brazil has been a key player in global climate change negotiations, advocating for ambitious targets and leading by example through its own environmental commitments. As a signatory to the Paris Agreement, Brazil has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 37% by 2025 and 43% by 2030 compared to 2005 levels. These targets are supported by Brazil's efforts to transition to a low-carbon economy and to promote sustainable development. Brazil's leadership in international climate forums. Brazil has consistently played a leadership role in international climate negotiations, including the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, and the Conference of the Parties, COP. Brazil's negotiators have been instrumental in shaping global climate policies, particularly in areas such as REDD+, reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, which incentivizes developing countries to reduce deforestation and invest in sustainable land management. Brazil's Climate Action Plan. Brazil's national climate not only supports its climate goals, but also contributes to energy security and economic development. Hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power is the cornerstone of Brazil's energy matrix, accounting for nearly 60% of the country's electricity generation. Brazil's vast river systems, including the Amazon, Parana, and São Francisco rivers, provide ideal conditions for hydropower development. Iconic projects like the Itaipu Dam, one of the largest hydroelectric plants in the world, and the Belo Monte Dam highlight Brazil's capacity for large-scale, renewable energy production. While hydroelectric power has played a significant role in reducing Brazil's reliance on fossil fuels, it also presents environmental and social challenges, particularly in terms of the displacement of communities and impacts on aquatic ecosystems. To address these concerns, Brazil is increasingly focusing on diversifying its renewable energy portfolio. Biofuels. Brazil is a pioneer in the production and use of biofuels, particularly ethanol derived from sugarcane. The country's ethanol program, known as Procol, was launched in the 1970s as a response to the global oil crisis and has since evolved into one of the most successful biofuel programs in the world. Brazil is the second largest producer of ethanol globally, and its flex fuel vehicles, which can run on both gasoline and ethanol, are a testament to the widespread adoption of biofuels. Brazil is also a leader in biodiesel production, with a growing market for biodiesel made from soybeans, palm oil, and other feedstocks. The country's national biodiesel program promotes the use of biodiesel as a cleaner alternative to diesel, contributing to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions and air pollution. Wind and solar energy. In recent years, Brazil has made significant strides in expanding its wind and solar energy capacity. The country's vast wind resources, particularly in the northeastern region, have attracted substantial investment in wind farms. As of 2024, wind energy accounts for approximately 11% of Brazil's electricity generation, with further growth expected in the coming years. Solar energy is also on the rise in Brazil, driven by favorable policies such as net metering and tax incentives. The country's abundant sunlight, especially in regions like the Northeast and Southeast, makes it an ideal location for solar power development. Brazil's solar capacity has grown rapidly, with the potential to become a major contributor to the country's energy mix. Innovative environmental projects. Brazil is home to numerous innovative projects that aim to balance environmental conservation with economic development. These projects showcase Brazil's commitment to sustainability and its ability to lead by example in addressing global environmental challenges. Sustainable farming in the Cerrado region. The Cerrado, Brazil's vast tropical savanna, is one of the world's most biodiverse ecosystems, but it has also been heavily impacted by agricultural expansion. To address the environmental challenges in the Cerrado, Brazil has implemented innovative sustainable farming practices that aim to protect biodiversity while supporting agricultural productivity. One such initiative is the ABC, Low Carbon Agriculture, program, which promotes sustainable agricultural practices that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and enhance carbon sequestration. The program encourages the adoption of techniques such as integrated crop livestock forestry systems, knot-hole farming, and agroforestry. These practices help to restore degraded lands, improve soil health, and increase agricultural yields, all while reducing the environmental impact of farming in the Cerrado. Promotion of ecotourism as a means of conservation. Ecotourism is another innovative approach that Brazil has embraced to promote conservation and sustainable development. By leveraging its rich natural heritage and biodiversity, Brazil has developed ecotourism as a means to generate income for local communities while protecting the environment. The Pantanal, the world's largest tropical wetland, is a prime example of successful ecotourism in Brazil. The region's unique ecosystems and abundant wildlife, including jaguars, capybaras, and caimans, attract tourists from around the world. Ecotourism operators in the Pantanal work closely with local communities and conservation organizations to ensure that tourism activities are sustainable and contribute to the protection of the region's natural resources. Similarly, the Atlantic Forest region has seen the growth of ecotourism initiatives that focus on birdwatching, hiking, and cultural experiences. These initiatives not only provide economic opportunities for local communities, but also raise awareness about the importance of conserving Brazil's threatened ecosystems. Conclusion: Brazil's global environmental leadership. Brazil's environmental policies and initiatives demonstrate its commitment to becoming a global leader in sustainability. By investing in reforestation, expanding protected areas, promoting renewable energy, and supporting innovative conservation projects, Brazil is paving the way for a more sustainable and resilient future. As the country continues to balance economic growth with environmental preservation, It serves as an example to the world of how to address the complex challenges of climate change and biodiversity loss. Then, also, global influence, Brazil's growing role on the world stage. 16 to 1900 hours. As Brazil continues to grow, its influence on the global stage becomes more pronounced. From trade to diplomacy, Brazil is emerging as a key player in shaping the future of international relations. The country's active participation in BRICS, its role in peacekeeping missions, and its leadership in global health and environmental initiatives highlight its growing global influence. In-depth explanation. Brazil's foreign policy strategy and global influence through South-South cooperation, cultural diplomacy, and major international events. Brazil's foreign policy strategy has been characterized by a unique blend of leadership and South-South cooperation, efforts to build strong ties with both emerging markets and established global powers, and a powerful use of cultural diplomacy. Through these strategies, Brazil has not only positioned itself as a key player on the global stage, but has also projected its influence far beyond its borders. From the global appeal of Brazilian culture to its hosting of major international events like the FIFA World Cup and the Olympics, Brazil has effectively leveraged soft power to enhance its international standing. Brazil's foreign policy strategy, bridging the global north and south. Brazil's foreign policy has long been shaped by its ambition to be a bridge between the global north and south, a strategy that reflects its dual identity as a developing nation with significant global influence. This approach has allowed Brazil to navigate complex international dynamics, positioning itself as a mediator and advocate for developing countries while engaging with established global powers on equal terms. Leadership in South-South cooperation. Brazil has been a pioneer in promoting South-South cooperation, which refers to the collaboration among developing countries to achieve mutual benefits in areas such as trade, investment, and technology transfer. This approach has been central to Brazil's foreign policy, as the country seeks to strengthen ties with other emerging markets in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. One of the key platforms for Brazil's South-South cooperation efforts has been the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa group, which represents some of the world's largest and fastest-growing economies. Through BRICS, Brazil has been able to amplify its voice on the global stage, advocating for reforms in international financial institutions, promoting inclusive economic growth, and enhancing cooperation in areas such as technology and innovation. Brazil's engagement with Africa is another significant aspect of its South-South cooperation strategy. The country has established strong diplomatic and economic ties with several African nations, particularly in the Portuguese-speaking countries of Angola and Mozambique. Brazil has provided technical assistance in areas such as agriculture, health, and education, sharing its expertise in fostering long-term partnerships. This collaboration has been mutually beneficial, as Brazil has also gained access to new markets and resources in Africa, strengthening ties with emerging markets and established powers. In addition to its South-South cooperation efforts, Brazil has sought to build strong relationships with both emerging markets and established global powers. This dual-track strategy has enabled Brazil to diversify its foreign relations and reduce its dependence on any single partner. Brazil's strategic alliances with China, the United States, and the European Union exemplify this approach. China, as Brazil's largest trading partner, plays a crucial role in the country's economy, particularly in sectors such as agriculture, mining, and energy. The two nations have deepened their economic ties through trade agreements, investments, and joint infrastructure projects. Brazil has also participated in the China-led Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to enhance connectivity and economic integration across Asia, Europe, and beyond. At the same time, Brazil has maintained strong ties with the United States, particularly in areas such as defense, energy, and trade. The two countries have collaborated on a range of issues, from combating transnational crime to promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. Brazil's relationship with the European Union is equally important, as the EU is one of Brazil's largest trading partners and a key source of foreign direct investment. The EU-Mercosur trade agreement, which has been in negotiation for over 2 decades, represents a significant milestone in Brazil's efforts to strengthen its ties with Europe. Cultural diplomacy, soft power, and the global spread of Brazilian culture. Brazil has successfully harnessed the power of cultural diplomacy to enhance its global influence. Cultural diplomacy, often referred to as soft power, involves the use of cultural assets such as music, dance, cuisine, and sports to project a positive image of a country and foster mutual understanding between nations. Global spread of Brazilian music, dance, and cuisine. Brazilian culture, with its vibrant music, dance, and cuisine, has captivated audiences worldwide, becoming a key element of the country's soft power. Genres like samba, bossa nova, and forró have gained international popularity, with artists like Antonio Carlos Jobim, João Gilberto, and Gilberto Gil serving as cultural ambassadors for Brazil. Samba, in particular, has become synonymous with Brazilian identity, celebrated globally during events like Carnival. Capoeira, a unique blend of martial arts, dance, and music, has also gained international recognition, with practitioners and schools emerging in countries around the world. This Afro-Brazilian cultural expression is not only a symbol of Brazil's diverse heritage, but also a testament to the country's ability to preserve and promote its cultural traditions on the global stage. Brazilian cuisine has similarly made its mark on the world, with dishes like feijoada, pão de queijo, and brigadeiros becoming beloved in many countries. The global popularity of Brazilian steakhouses, known as churrascarias, reflects the appeal of Brazil's culinary traditions, which combine indigenous, African, and European influences. Cultural diplomacy through language and media. The Portuguese language, spoken by over 200 million people worldwide, is another important tool of Brazil's cultural diplomacy. Brazil has played a leading role in promoting the Portuguese language internationally, particularly in Lusophone, Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa and Asia. Through initiatives like the Community of Portuguese Language Countries, CPLP, Brazil has fostered linguistic and cultural ties with other Portuguese-speaking nations, enhancing its influence in these regions. Brazilian media, including television shows, films, and telenovelas, have also contributed to the country's soft power. Telenovelas, in particular, have become a cultural export, with Brazilian productions being broadcast in over 100 countries. These shows often portray Brazilian culture, society, and values, offering viewers around the world a glimpse into life in Brazil. Hosting major international events, showcasing Brazil to the world. Brazil's hosting of major international events, such as the FIFA World Cup in 2014 and the Summer Olympics in 2016, provided the country with a unique opportunity to showcase its culture, infrastructure, and achievements on a global stage. These events not only boosted Brazil's international profile, but also demonstrated its ability to organize and execute large-scale, complex projects. FIFA World Cup 2014. The 2014 FIFA World Cup, held in Brazil, was one of the most anticipated sporting events in the country's history. As the birthplace of some of the world's greatest football legends, including Pelé, Zico, and Ronaldo, Brazil's deep connection to football made it an ideal host for the World Cup. The tournament attracted millions of visitors and billions of viewers worldwide, offering Brazil a platform to showcase its passion for football, its diverse culture, and its hospitality. The World Cup also served as a catalyst for infrastructure development in Brazil, with significant investments made in stadiums, airports, transportation networks, and urban revitalization projects. While the event was not without controversy, particularly regarding the costs and social impacts, it undeniably placed Brazil in the global spotlight, reinforcing its status as a major player in international sports. Rio de Janeiro Summer Olympics 2016. Following the World Cup, Brazil went on to host the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, the first time the Olympic Games were held in South America. The event was a historic moment for Brazil, symbolizing its emergence as a global power and its ability to overcome challenges to deliver a successful Olympic Games. The Rio Olympics showcased Brazil's cultural diversity, natural beauty, and vibrant spirit, with the opening and closing ceremonies highlighting the country's rich heritage and contributions to the world. The event also provided an opportunity for Brazil to demonstrate its commitment to environmental sustainability, with initiatives such as the use of renewable energy in Olympic venues and the restoration of the Guanabara Bay. Legacy of major international events. The legacy of these major international events extends beyond the games themselves, as they have left a lasting impact on Brazil's infrastructure, tourism, and international reputation. The investments made in transportation, sports facilities, and urban development have contributed to the modernization of Brazilian cities and have created new opportunities for economic growth. Moreover, Brazil's successful hosting of these events has enhanced its credibility on the global stage, demonstrating its capacity to manage complex international projects and its ability to bring people together through the universal language of sports. Conclusion: Brazil's global influence through foreign policy, cultural diplomacy, and international events. Brazil's foreign policy strategy, leadership in South-South cooperation, and efforts to strengthen ties with both emerging markets and established powers have positioned it as a key player on the global stage. Through cultural diplomacy, Brazil has successfully projected its soft power, sharing its rich cultural heritage with the world and fostering mutual understanding. Hosting major international events like the FIFA World Cup and the Olympics has further elevated Brazil's global profile, showcasing its capabilities and reinforcing its status as a major global influence. As Brazil continues to navigate the complexities of international relations, its unique blend of diplomatic strategies and cultural outreach will remain central to its ongoing success and influence on the world stage. Then 7. Challenges ahead: navigating the road to superpower status. While Brazil's rise is impressive, the journey is far from over. The country still faces significant challenges that must be addressed to fully realize its potential as a global superpower. Economic inequality, political polarization, and environmental degradation are just a few of the hurdles Brazil must overcome. In-depth explanation: analyzing the complexities of Brazil's socio-economic issues and exploring potential solutions. Brazil, a nation of immense natural wealth and cultural diversity, faces significant socio-economic challenges that are deeply rooted in its history and development trajectory. The stark contrast between urban wealth and rural poverty, ongoing struggles with corruption, and the delicate balance between development and conservation present complex issues that require multifaceted solutions. Addressing these challenges involves the concerted efforts of the government, the private sector, and civil society to create a more equitable and sustainable future for all Brazilians. Urban wealth versus rural poverty, the development divide. One of the most visible and enduring socio-economic challenges in Brazil is the sharp disparity between urban wealth and rural poverty. Brazil's major cities, such as São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia, are hubs of economic activity and wealth, home to vibrant industries, financial institutions, and a growing middle class. In contrast, rural areas, particularly in the north and northeast regions, suffer from chronic poverty, limited access to basic services, and a lack of economic opportunities. Urbanization and its impact. Brazil's rapid urbanization over the past century has contributed to significant economic growth, but it has also exacerbated inequalities. As millions of people migrated from rural areas to cities in search of better opportunities, urban centers expanded rapidly, often without adequate planning or infrastructure. This has led to the proliferation of informal settlements, known as favelas, where millions of urban poor live in precarious conditions with limited access to clean water, sanitation, and healthcare. Rural poverty and agricultural challenges. In rural areas, poverty remains a persistent problem, particularly among smallholder farmers and indigenous communities. Many rural Brazilians lack access to education, healthcare, and infrastructure, which hinders their ability to improve their living standards. The agricultural sector, while a major contributor to Brazil's economy, is also characterized by deep inequalities. Large agribusinesses dominate the industry, while small-scale farmers struggle to compete, often relying on subsistence farming and facing challenges such as land tenure insecurity, low productivity, and vulnerability to environmental changes. Potential solutions. Addressing the urban-rural divide requires targeted policies that promote inclusive development and ensure that all Brazilians have access to opportunities, regardless of where they live. Potential solutions include investing in rural development. The government can play a crucial role in revitalizing rural areas by investing in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and agricultural support programs. Initiatives such as expanding access to credit, providing technical assistance, and promoting sustainable farming practices can help smallholder farmers increase their productivity and income. Enhancing social protection programs. Social protection programs, such as Bolsa Familia, have been effective in reducing poverty and inequality in Brazil. Expanding and improving these programs, with a focus on rural areas, can provide a safety net for vulnerable populations and help bridge the gap between urban and rural living standards. Promoting regional development. Encouraging economic diversification in rural areas through the development of non-agricultural sectors, such as tourism, renewable energy, and small-scale manufacturing, can create new job opportunities and reduce the dependency on agriculture. Corruption, a barrier to progress. Corruption has long been a significant challenge in Brazil, undermining public trust in institutions, hindering economic development, and exacerbating social inequalities. High-profile corruption scandals, such as the Operation Car Wash investigation, have exposed the deep-seated corruption within Brazil's political and business elite, leading to widespread public disillusionment. The impact of corruption on society. Corruption has far-reaching consequences for Brazilian society. It diverts public resources away from essential services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, exacerbates inequalities, and fosters a culture of impunity. Corruption also undermines the rule of law and weakens democratic institutions, making it more difficult for the government to effectively address the country's pressing challenges. Government efforts to combat corruption. In recent years, Brazil has made significant strides in combating corruption, driven by public demand for accountability and transparency. The Operation Car Wash investigation, which began in 2014, uncovered a massive corruption scheme involving top politicians, business leaders, and state-owned companies. The investigation led to the prosecution and conviction of numerous high-profile individuals, including former presidents, and highlighted the need for systemic reforms. Potential solutions. While progress has been made, much work remains to be done to root out corruption in Brazil. Potential solutions include strengthening anti-corruption institutions, empowering institutions such as the federal police, public prosecutor's office, and judiciary to investigate and prosecute corruption cases independently is crucial. Ensuring that these institutions have the resources, autonomy, and legal frameworks necessary to carry out their work effectively is key to sustaining the fight against corruption. Enhancing transparency and accountability. Promoting transparency in government operations and decision-making can help prevent corruption. Measures such as open government initiatives, public access to information, and digital tools for monitoring public spending can empower citizens to hold their leaders accountable. Encouraging civic engagement. Civil society plays a vital role in combating corruption by advocating for reforms, raising public awareness, and monitoring government actions. Supporting the work of non-governmental organizations, the media, and grassroots movements can help create a culture of accountability and reduce tolerance for corrupt practices. Development versus conservation. Striking a balance. Brazil is home to some of the world's most important and biodiverse ecosystems, including the Amazon rainforest, the Cerrado savanna, and the Pantanal wetland. These ecosystems are not only vital for global environmental health, but also provide livelihoods for millions of people. However, Brazil's pursuit of economic development has often come into conflict with the need to conserve its natural resources. The challenge of deforestation. Deforestation, particularly in the Amazon rainforest, is one of the most pressing environmental issues in Brazil. Driven by agricultural expansion, logging, and infrastructure development, deforestation has led to the loss of vast areas of forest, threatening biodiversity, contributing to climate change, and disrupting the lives of indigenous communities. Economic pressures and environmental costs. Brazil's economy relies heavily on agriculture, mining, and energy production, all of which have significant environmental impacts. The expansion of agribusiness, in particular, has been a major driver of deforestation, as land is cleared for cattle ranching, soybean cultivation, and other crops. While these industries are important for Brazil's economic growth, they also pose serious risks to the environment. Potential solutions. Balancing development and conservation requires innovative approaches that prioritize sustainability and protect Brazil's natural heritage. Potential solutions include promoting sustainable agriculture, encouraging sustainable farming practices such as agroforestry, crop rotation, and precision agriculture can help reduce the environmental impact of agriculture while maintaining productivity. Supporting smallholder farmers in adopting these practices through training, incentives, and access to markets can also contribute to more sustainable rural development. Strengthening environmental protections, enforcing existing environmental laws and regulations, expanding protected areas, and promoting reforestation initiatives are essential for preserving Brazil's ecosystems. The government can also work with indigenous communities and local stakeholders to develop conservation strategies that respect traditional knowledge and land rights. Investing in renewable energy. Brazil has significant potential for renewable energy production, particularly in hydroelectric power, wind, and solar energy. Investing in these sectors can help reduce the country's reliance on fossil fuels, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and create new economic opportunities. Supporting ecotourism. Ecotourism offers a way to generate income while promoting conservation. By developing and promoting ecotourism initiatives in regions such as the Amazon, the Pantanal, and the Atlantic Forest, Brazil can create sustainable livelihoods for local communities while protecting its natural resources. Conclusion. Addressing Brazil's socioeconomic challenges. Brazil's socioeconomic challenges are complex and multifaceted, requiring coordinated efforts from the government, private sector, and civil society to find lasting solutions. Addressing the urban-rural divide, combating corruption, and balancing development with conservation are essential for building a more equitable and sustainable future for all Brazilians. By investing in rural development, enhancing transparency, and promoting sustainable practices, Brazil can overcome these challenges and continue on its path toward prosperity while preserving its rich natural and cultural heritage. Brazil's path to the future. Brazil's story is one of resilience, innovation, and determination. As the country continues to rise, its potential to shape the future is undeniable. With the right balance of growth, sustainability, and social progress, Brazil is not just a nation on the rise, it's a nation poised to lead. The question is not if, but when Brazil will fully step into its role as a global superpower. If you found this video insightful and believe in Brazil's potential as a global leader, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please take a moment to like this video, comment below with your perspectives, and share it with friends and family who might be interested in Brazil's journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Rags to Travel for more in-depth explorations of the world's most fascinating destinations. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires and informs. Thank you for being part of our community, reading content that inspires and informs. Thank you for being part of our community,